Hello, everyone, and welcome to a grand edition of L's Supercast. That's right. After, I don't know, few years, few months, I guess, here or there. Yeah. We've gotten to a whopping 100. With me today is the boss man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well.
So,
Congratulations on reaching 100.
hey, yeah, it feels pretty cool. You know, it's it's been a long haul. I would have liked to had this this episode been up many weeks ago, but things have, well, sometimes you get busy and you gotta put things on the back burner and move on to things that are more directly in your face. Or you're like, well, I gotta do this. Yep.
Yeah, real life likes to intercede whenever it wants. You
Indeed.
just sort of have to roll with it.
So, let's talk about gaming.
All right.
Well, how do you see the industry from 5 years ago till now? What do you see the differences are?
With regards to the companies, the consoles, what?
With the way that things have been progressing, like, do you see that there has been change, or have things more or less stayed the same?
I think the indie scene has definitely grown a lot. The major publishers seem to be stagnating a little bit, but every once in a while you'll see a rare gem flow out from them. But yeah, for the most part, it seems like the major innovations have been coming from the indie scene. So there's definitely been some change because the indie scene has definitely exploded in size and quantity over the past 5 years, and the quality too has been dramatically higher.
Oh yeah, well, I think that goes with like the way technology has been progressing.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how the game industry will look in the next 5 years.
Yeah, it's really hard to predict where everything's going to go because the next generation consoles are getting ready to launch this fall, and no one's really sure what the next Xbox platform is going to be, and at least
Mm-hmm.
until the end of this month when they reveal it, no one really knows at this point. Although finally we do have confirmation that the console makers are not complete idiots and their boxes are not going to require an internet connection to function.
Yeah.
Friggin' finally confirmation on
Yeah.
that. Everybody was getting worried about that.
Well, I think that's one of the things that some companies have learned the hard way. When you think about, certain games like Diablo 3.
Or The Sims from EA.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's, what the hell?
Or not the Sims, the Sim City, the new one.
You know, things just go bad.
Yeah, you can't account for everything on day one. People are going to be pissed if it requires everything to be online all the time.
Yeah. The main thing is servers have issues,
Yeah,
computers have issues.
yeah.
When you combine, a CD that is basically a flaming sack of crap unless it can connect to a server online, Yeah, that's going to tick off a lot of people when guess what? Servers are down. What do you do with this expensive piece of crap that does literally nothing?
Well, you could use it as a fancy coaster. That's about
Or,
it.
or if you're feeling more creative, you can pick it up,
Break it in
throw it as a
half and
solution.
throw the jagged
Yeah.
pieces at something you really hate.
Add add spikes to it, make it into a ninja star, a shield.
Yeah,
Get a whole bunch of them and make it into your own Captain America shield. I don't know. I
you
think
know what? I would actually pay to see that. That would be something to see.
uh oh yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting. If someone took the time to take like all these games that don't work anymore because the servers are down and like
Mm-hmm.
creative into like some kind of artistic structure would be
Yeah,
at least it would serve a purpose.
yeah. As opposed to being completely worthless, at least for the data now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
No, but it is what it is. Like I'm I like that independent developers have progressed as much as they have. It seems like a few of them are doing rather well, which is good.
yeah,
Because without that support, they're not gonna last.
yeah. Oh
No,
yeah,
it's it's not an easy industry to go into.
yeah. As I'm learning that firsthand.
Oh, you're learning that firsthand. Yeah, I already knew
Oh
that.
no, no.
Oh yeah.
Trust me. I'm also learning the same lessons I think you're learning at the same time.
Uh, I started indie developing 15 years ago, I would say. Yeah, it was a different scene back then.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be a little easier at that point.
Well, it was different. You know, now nowadays it's
You have to have an art budget at least.
yeah,
To
nowadays it's fantastic. Like there are so many good projects out there
yeah,
that that it's like wow, like so many creative people and um I really enjoy seeing like all the different Kickstarters for all these different video games that have so much potential.
yeah. But Kickstarter has me a little bit worried about that at the same time too,
Oh, so
because we have yet to see the big crash from those games. All the games that were promised, but then eventually get canceled because they just didn't quite work.
well, there
Because
is that.
there's bound to be a bunch of those.
Here's the thing. You know, obviously you can't count on Kickstarter. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you have to have a plan B
Yeah,
or a plan C and be able to continue with development. From what I've seen, is that those who have the means to get their games to iPhones do quite well because seems to be what hits.
yeah. It seems like mobile development right now is definitely where the indie scene is shining the most. If not on PC, then mobile. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Mm.
here's one example. I think it was back in I want to say that it was last year or perhaps the year before. Um, there was a guy from the UK. I don't remember his name now, but he made the video game for Manos for the iPhone,
Mm-hmm.
he got response for a PC port, and I don't know if it was due to a lack of marketing, but yeah, that launch was miserable. They did far better with the iPhone. So it's like it fluctuates, you know. There's a lot of factors that you need to consider when you're going into that field. Like who are you going to target with your game?
Yeah.
Like are you going to go portable or are you going to go something else?
You have to have a market in mind, at least in terms of where you want to put the game and how much marketing push behind it you're gonna be able to put to give it. I think for PCs, the biggest place is Steam right now.
Yeah,
It's pretty much been the biggest. It's probably going to continue to be the biggest.
like there are that seems to be the biggest. I would think you know, if you were into Flash, I think Congregate is still the big kahuna with that.
Okay. I've also heard a lot about Newgrounds as well. It's
Well,
where a lot
no,
of people have.
no, you know, that was the Congregate before there even was a Congregate.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's where
it's
Behemoth got their start. And
that's
Castle Crashers eventually came
it's
from them.
it's more it's more broad, you know.
Yeah,
It's because not only do you get games, but with Newgrounds you get animated videos, typical bizarreness from the interwebs,
yeah.
you know, a variety of things.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have not been to actual Newgrounds in probably a good year or two. It's been a while, but you know, there's a lot of weird stuff that does come out from them.
Yeah. So favorite indie games, what would you say?
Hmm.
You must have played a few by now.
I guess my most recent favorites were 10 million
Okay.
and I guess FTL, which I guess you could consider it an indie game because it was completely funded by Kickstarter and is not really associated with any major publisher. So it seems like a fairly small team that made that. And those two definitely really liking those. I finished up 10 million about a month ago. Really liked it. It was a really good twist on the match 3 puzzle game. And FTL is a space Diablo or a space randomized dungeon crawl.
Really?
Yeah, it's really interesting. You never get the same encounter twice in a row when you start that game.
Mm-hmm.
Some completely random things will happen every single time, and that's part of the fun. It's like, well, what the hell do I do now?
Yeah.
How do I respond to this ship fire that suddenly happened? Because somebody's shooting at me now from across space, and now I have to deal with that. So it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it.
Do you think Midway, the loss of it, has affected the industry at all?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people that lost their jobs because of that.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they no longer make pinball machines, that's a big loss too. Yeah, I definitely think the industry is a little bit worse for wear because we don't have a Midway anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
I,
they were one of the big seminal arcade creators of the 80s and 90s.
yes. Yes, they were.
It's a big loss.
Like, consider this. Think about the changes. that would have happened if there was no Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, that would be weird, really weird.
Like,
People wouldn't have had a giant controversy in the early '90s.
yeah, yeah, that's very true. And also, a certain video game that recently came out, probably if it did happen, it would not have happened the way that it looks now.
Most
A,
likely, yeah.
a certain DC game.
Yes, a DC fighting game, in fact.
Yes, very reminiscent to a Midway like game.
Yes, I know. That team is pretty good at what they do, though.
Yeah, game for me, it's kind of not too great and not too flawed, kind of in the middle.
Yeah, I'm kind of situated right in the middle of my feelings as well with that one.
And
It.
my thing with it was on looks wonderful.
Oh yeah, no, it looks really nice.
They obviously focused a lot on that.
Yeah.
Very nice. Now my knowledge is somewhat limited, but
Mm.
I think that most of what happened in the story is fairly represented in the game. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Until you told me today, I did not know that was based on a comic, on an actual
did
comic
not
that
know.
came out.
Oh,
No, I thought they just made the story for the game.
when you find the right story that fits into a scenario of, okay, we need a DC fighting game. What do we do? Well, obviously they must have had a good team of researchers, and they must have brought up um, all these different stories where, like, hey, like this thing happened here. Superman became a dictator. How about this? You know, this would be kind of good as a game.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely the right way to go. Seems like a very weird and out there story, and which is kind of what you want out of your comics and your video games combined. So
Yeah.
it's actually a very good combination.
You played the demo,
Yes,
correct?
yes, I played the 360 demo.
Okay. Well, in the demo, which character did you enjoy playing as? Were you more of trying out Batman, or did you go for someone else?
Well, I actually did try Batman first
Okay.
because I played the demo full through twice just to see if there was any difference between the characters, and there was.
Mm-hmm.
So I started off with Batman. I could not get the hang of Batman's fighting style at all or his moves.
Yeah.
It was real difficult to get the hang of those the maneuvers that he has, all his gadgets and everything. So then I decided, all right, well, I'll try one more character to see if it changes my opinion because I was a little down on it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So then I tried out Lex Luthor,
Mm-hmm.
who was the one of the three characters that they had for the demo. The third character was Wonder Woman, which I still think is really weird that they didn't have Superman available in that demo.
Really? No Superman for the demo? I wasn't aware of
No,
this.
he's not in the demo at all. I
Oh,
don't get it.
maybe it was maybe it was a matter of timing. Maybe they just didn't have all his move specs at the time.
I don't know, maybe, but uh, just weird that that was the third choice instead of Superman. But I tried Lex Luthor, and I actually started getting the hang of Lex Luthor's moves
Mm-hmm.
much easier than I had time with Batman. So I was a little more upbeat when I finished the demo at that point. So I was like, well, maybe when it gets cheap enough, I could see myself getting the game. But I've never really been that great at the Mortal Kombat style of fighting and combos. And Injustice does follow that style of combat with a K, because,
Yeah.
of course.
Oh yeah.
So
Now
it's not quite in my wheelhouse. I'm more of a Street Fighter style kind of guy.
here's where I have my peeves against it.
Mm-hmm.
There needed to be more variety in certain things. Certain things became extremely repetitive due to the fact that, for the most part, there's only one opening and one ending. And when you see the same animation over and over and over again in the multiplayer, yeah, it's like, oh boy, well, we have to sit through this again.
Oh, you mean for the character entrances?
Yeah.
Oh, you can actually skip those.
Well, that's good that you can actually skip them.
Yeah.
You know, it's if they do another one, like I'm wondering what they will learn from this one and how they will improve on the next one if there is one.
There will be another fighting game from NetherRealm Studios. They will make another fighting game.
Now consider this. What if you had a tactical game based on Civil War?
You mean Marvel?
Yeah.
Well, that would be pretty fun. Like a strategy game based off that, yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that working very well. Maybe in the style of XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Maybe. There is an audience for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It would be another way to make distinction between Marvel games and DC games.
Yeah.
You
It
know. Oh yeah,
it
and
would also be a way to make a good Marvel game for a change.
Copyright that idea right now. Yeah, copyright GNU 2007. Give props to me, studio, when you do this. If you should do this. Yeah, I thought of it, so I should be one of the first beta testers. Just saying. Hook me up. Come on, I'm right here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, let's make this happen.
I'm pretty sure they've had that idea at some point, but we'll see if they ever actually do it.
Maybe, but did they have it as a strategy game?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. That's a difference there.
Maybe. You never know, because there's a lot of people who work on video games over at Marvel.
Oh, of course. Like in Marvel, what was their last big hit? Was it just one of the X-Men games?
The last Marvel game.
Because that's what I
think it was. I think it was the Spider-Man game that came out last year.
Wait, but did that one actually do better than the X-Men ones?
Than X-Men Destiny, definitely.
Hmm.
X-Men Destiny was not very good.
Well, that just goes to show
it tried to be Mass Effect with some of its decision making.
Oh, great!
It was not Mass Effect in its decision making.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah.
They tried their hardest over at Silicon Knights, but they did not succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Silicon Knights is pretty much dead in the water at this point. Mostly because of that. So I think the last game that was fairly popular was the Spider-Man game from last year.
Spider-Man one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm wondering if now would be the time to come up with another Iron Man game.
I would be all for it, though it would be nice if it wasn't Sega trying to put it together, because they've failed twice in a row.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they failed pretty bad.
So Sega dropped the ball? What makes you say this? Because I'm not too familiar with the Iron Man games.
I played the first one and saw enough of the second one. It's just repetitive. Oh, here's a helicopter. Here's a tank. Blow them up.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so now move to the next area where there's more tanks and more helicopters.
All right, so it's one of those where there really isn't too much to the story. It's just, okay, you go here, there, blow some stuff up, and move on.
It tries to have a story. It tries to have a little bit of variety, but it just doesn't quite succeed.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
I mean, it gets the flying around part.
Yeah.
But that's about the best I can say about it.
It happens, man. Like, rarely do you get a video game based on superheroes that is good. It's a proven fact.
Well, there are two games that were really good based on superheroes. That's the Batman games from Rocksteady and the Captain America game, which was based on the Batman games by Rocksteady. So, how could you go wrong with creating a Captain America game that had Batman style combat? I mean, it was just a natural fit. I mean, those were the last two games that were definitively based on superheroes that were just very, very well done. So that's why I'm crossing my fingers that the Batman game that's coming out this year, this October, I believe.
Mm.
It's hope it's going to be good because it's not by Rocksteady. So I'm crossing my fingers and hoping.
Yeah. Well, I think we're almost out of time. Is there any websites that you would like to give props to before we get going?
I guess I'll shout out to the giantbomb.com because they continue to create awesome videos about video games that just make me laugh so much.
All right. And on that note, I sense a disturbance in the time frame, as if a lost traveler has returned. What is this? It appears that a wild centroid has appeared.
Oh. Okay.
Well, it's been quite a while there.
Yeah.
So, obviously, there's something really cool happening really fast.
Too
As
much.
in
Too
literally,
too many cool things happening too fast. And
as in literally, let's say, depending on when I air this, a few days past or a few days present or maybe tomorrow. That
Okay.
kind of fast.
Oh, yes.
Well, it took them a long time, but I think that for those who enjoy Venture Brothers, it is going to be a treat to see
Oh.
a new story with these characters that I would think that people love and enjoy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, do you have any predictions or any ideas of what may happen this season? You know, or do you?
Honestly, not really. I mean, I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah. There's one thing that I did see, and it was a I want to say a 8 minute kind of. If you never knew what Venture Brothers was,
Oh,
this
right.
I don't know if you saw it, but if you did, your thoughts?
I didn't get to see it, but I heard a lot about it. Seemed
Mm-hmm.
pretty interesting.
Yeah, I found that it touched on multiple bases, and it kind of gave those who really had no idea the general gist of what has been going on until now,
Mm-hmm.
which is very skilled for only 8 minutes. Yeah, like obviously you don't get the full thing that is the show, but at least you know enough to be like, okay, you make a decision. Do I want to roll with what I saw, or do I want to just ignore it and go with something else?
Right. I don't know how to feel about that.
Mm. So, any inside info on the Adult Swim that people confuse for the actual Adult Swim that a certain someone runs?
Oh, that. No, not really.
Yeah.
Nothing substantial's been going on there, but you know.
Well, I would think that business would start to pick up, considering with the new VB.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, things may be changing. You never know.
Oh yeah. I'm also kind of interested when the because I'm assuming they're probably on break and haven't made any new ones from the last episodes that I remember. A certain Aqua, yeah, something,
Oh, yeah,
or
that's coming in the fall.
whatever their name currently may or may not be.
I have
Now,
no idea
yeah,
at this point. I don't think they know.
yeah. I mean, okay, I can understand that you want to recreate a show, but it's still as random as ever. So,
So you're not
is
really recreating the show, you're just changing the
yeah,
name.
yeah.
That's fine too.
Uh, I will say this: at the time that they were Unit Patrol, that intro was quite cool.
Mm,
The whole detective thing was really nice.
yeah.
So, Centroid, I feel that the time vortex is rapidly closing, but do you perhaps have a website that you can perhaps give props to before I lose this vortex that you are in right now?
Okay, I'm losing the vortex. All right. I guess, the norm, adultswimcentral.com. Also adventureclubpodcast.com. We got crazy stuff going on there too.
All right, I think I was able to get all of that. Oh, I feel myself slipping away, Centroid.
Oh, no.
Pulled into another time stream. Oh man, I don't want to say what I'm looking at, but I think certain people will know. It's blue, and yeah, it's right there. I gotta go, Centroid.
Okay.
All right. I am very angry, and I want to know if you are equally as pissed off. Because it seems to me that a certain movie took it upon itself to make a certain person with rings a flaming sack of crap. How do you feel about that?
Well, I haven't seen the movie yet.
You have not seen the movie yet.
No, I haven't seen the movie yet.
Why have you not seen the movie yet? I would think out of all the people in the United States of America that you would be the first one to see it.
I know. I'm a really big Iron Man fan, but I just didn't have the time.
Okay, so somewhat spoiler warnings, but yeah. Maybe I'm only slightly blowing it out of proportion. Very slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that kind of happened, my friend.
That as in what?
Well, uh, this character was portrayed rather poorly.
If you're talking about Mandarin, I know he's in the movie.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not trying to spoil too much.
All right.
All I'll say is, because you haven't seen the movie yet, is that the avenues and directions that they took the development of the Mandarin
Mm-hmm.
was poor, to say the least.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm not even a uber fan of that guy. But I do
Yeah.
but I know certain things about his character. And when I saw the direction that they put it in, I was like, wait a minute. No. 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 No thanks. Now, I do understand that with a movie, you do take certain liberties, but come on. When you see it, you'll understand what I mean. And hopefully, you'll come back on the cast and we'll talk about this more.
Oh, I'd be glad to.
I see someone through the far winds, though I'm not sure. Wait a minute. This form seems familiar. Could it be the captain is in the house? Well, it's been, what? Years? Literally?
It's been
Since
years.
you've been on the show?
Years. Can you imagine?
Wow.
My podcast is 6 years old, and I somehow resuscitated it this year.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of things have happened.
A lot has happened.
Wow. So, there's a small problem. Well, it's more of a minor inconvenience. You see, because I started episode 100 and Steven brought something up and I made reference towards you.
Because you knew I would be disappointed, probably.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He had no idea that the new video game was actually based on the comics, the DC one, the fighting one.
Injustice Gods Among Us?
Yes.
Really? So, did
Uh,
he never watch Justice League?
I don't know.
Because nothing screams Injustice Gods Among Us. First of all, the cast is mostly from Justice League Unlimited. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. Okay, then on top of that, we have the fact that the storyline is almost identical. Well, not identical, but similar in so many ways to the Justice Lord storyline, which is a pivotal storyline in the DC animated universe because it launched and set the tone for the future of Justice League Unlimited with
Mm-hmm.
the Cadmus project and lurking in the background. I mean, oh, wonderful, wonderful stuff. So yeah, Injustice Gods Among Us, you know, evil dark counterparts of Superman. We've seen it all before, but more so the Superman that went down the wrong path is more specifically from Justice League Unlimited, the animated show.
It's not a perfect game, but for what it is,
For what it is, I think it's wonderful.
yeah. Oh yeah.
For me it's not a perfect game, but for me it's the perfect DC fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Like, I honestly had no idea there were so many Lobo fans that they were willing to put him as DLC.
Oh, let me tell you, I didn't even know I was a Lobo fan. I love that freaking guy now. I'm,
Oh really?
I'm, I'm running around shooting people, whipping them with chains. I'm like, oh, Lobo's great. Lobo spices it right up.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking forward to Batgirl.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, let's see how that flies, and then I guess we'll have a couple of other downloadable characters. You
Yep.
know, I'm just waiting for them to come out with a Superman pack so that I can get my Red Sun Superman going on.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that once more of these DLCs become available, um, it'll definitely bring more replayability to a game like this.
Oh, I think so. I wish that there was room to make like 50 new characters, and just like
Yeah.
every 3 months introduce a new DLC, and then over those 3 months you get three new characters, and just keep people hooked. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So anyhow, I have some sick ideas of who I'd like to see as playable characters.
Oh,
And
do tell.
okay, have you played classic battle mode or classic mode?
Classic mode. Can't say that I
All
have.
right, in battle mode, there's classic. When you play classic, you play through the storyline as one of the characters, and at the end, you get a little ending for them.
All right.
Big surprise.
So,
Okay, so not everyone's playing the game as thoroughly as me. So, So anyhow, there's some weird and different endings. Some of the endings are very specific to the counter Earth. Some
Uh-huh.
are specific to the main hero Earth. Like when you beat it with Superman, he comes back and feels a little bit paranoid about what happened, so he installs a device in himself to destroy him if he ever becomes mentally unbalanced.
Hmm.
So like that's like his ending. But Ares Ares ending is the Ares of the evil Superman Earth. And that Ares, now that the conflict is over, the two Justice Leagues have united to make a beautiful, better world that's very peaceful, and so he's starving for power because there's no war. So
Hmm.
he kidnaps Brainiac 5 from the Legion of Superheroes, right?
Hmm.
And makes him forces him to create a time bubble around that period of time in Earth where the two leagues were at odds, so that he can feast on endless war in that time loop. That's a
Ah.
pretty sick ending. Now,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
now my problem with that ending is that they mentioned Brainiac 5. There's no reference whatsoever to the Legion in the whole game.
Hmm.
So sick twisted uh, DLC character, I would love for there to be a Brainiac 5.
That could be interesting, considering that that's a crucial role in that ending. Yeah, definitely.
So I mean, he can fly because he's got a flight ring, and he can do weird telekinetic stuff because he's got his force field belt that he's famous for. So I just think he would just make a great kooky left field character. But at the same time, there's a whole bunch of people out there who will be hooting and hollering, "Why would I want to pay $5 for this guy?" Rah, 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 rah.
There definitely would be that. It would need to be some kind of package deal where he's with someone else who's of, well, I hate to say it, but more popular.
Well, if we're going to go for more popular, what if we make it a Legion pack and you also get Dawnstar as an alternate skin for Hawk and
Mm,
then Wildfire?
I can kind of see that.
I don't know. I could kind of see it. Except Dawnstar wouldn't be caught using a mace. It wouldn't be right, you know. But
Hmm.
you could do a Monel skin for Superman.
Hmm.
Although, if they wanted to get really sick and twisted, I mean, DLC Monel as a Green Lantern would be amazing. All the powers of Superman and the Green Lantern ring.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be impressive. But no, I think Brainiac 5 will be an interesting twist, and it will bring in some Legion stuff. I like that they're doing Batgirl, but yeah. Oh, two other ones I would just lose my mind with: Booster Gold and Blue Beetle.
Those are good ones, considering with the especially the amount of attention that Blue Beetle got with the what was it, Young Justice?
Yeah, Young Justice, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you could do both Blue Beetles, or either or. You could do Ted Cord or the one in the armored suit. The one in the armored suit is more popular, more trendy, more now. I think people would really be down for it. But if you did Ted Cord, when he does his super move, it could involve the bug flying
Yeah.
overhead. It would be amazing. And then for Booster, I mean, he could just be fighting you, and Skeets could be floating around his head the whole time. Or,
Yeah.
Skeets could come in for the super to do something outrageous. I just think
Yep.
there's tons of potential there for the two of them.
I mean, there's definitely with so many characters out there. There's so many ways that they can grow with this.
Oh, tons.
Uh, it all depends on exactly how much information was set aside on the disk to be added on at a later point in time, if that's the system that they are
Well, who
using.
needs a when you need all you need is a software update and room on the hard drive. It will handle everything.
Hmm.
I think that
There are many ways to do it. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
they do. Do you have any characters that you think you'd like to see thrown in there? Because I can go on with my list.
Hmm. Well, I don't know because I'm not sure if they would be that popular or not.
Well, I named Brainiac 5, so take a shot.
Hmm. I like Firestorm.
Oh, I love Firestorm. That's a great pick.
Hmm?
And he's fairly popular.
Yup. I have no idea how the heck this would work, but oh man, no, I can't say it. It's too ridiculous to
Say it.
work.
Say it. Say it. Ambush bug?
No, 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 no. No. Yeah. The mechanics, it would be impossible unless it was a cutscene.
Who would the mechanics be impossible for?
Mogo.
Oh, yeah, we're not going to see him
Yeah.
as a playable character. But you know who Mogo, you know who would go great with Mogo?
Mm?
Two of my other choices.
Oh.
Three of my other choices. Kyle
Oh.
Rayner, Jon Stewart, and Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
Because I think one of them could use Mogo as their super move.
Oh, as a super move, that would be awesome.
You know?
Oh, definitely. I can definitely see that.
There's a rumor that there's a Blue Lantern Sinestro skin in the game somewhere too. I would love to see that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why Hope and Blue, but apparently it's lingering out there. Yeah,
Hmm.
the rumor is anyway.
I would think that they would, give him that little moment where he had control of the white.
Yeah, I guess that would kind of be cool. Definitely would be cool. I don't know how it fits into their wild and crazy story.
Yeah. I mean, it would just be a skin. That's how I would see it.
Well, the Yellow Lantern Hal is so cool because not only is he in the armor, all his projectiles are yellow, and then his super move actually takes place on a yellow star planet. And
Mhm.
then after he defeats you and flies off, he doesn't join the rest of the Corps like his normal ending. He actually is like power. He's actually like screaming something about power in like deep space around a yellow planet.
Oh yeah, that could be reference towards Parallax.
Oh, totally. But I'm just saying they did all this really great creative stuff to make
Mhm.
him different. So I'd love to see that with some other characters. Like a skin that's so unique for them that you get different endings and everything.
Okay. Now there was another thing, which yeah, I mildly spoiled it because Steven didn't actually see the movie yet.
Uh huh.
But yeah, Iron Man 3. Have you seen it?
I have seen it.
Well, if you can tell by the tone of my voice,
Uh huh.
I'm rather miffed.
And if you could tell by the tone of my voice, I enjoyed it.
Oh boy, so we're at odds here.
Oh, we're totally at odds. But I'm gonna just tell you something that I think everybody on your team needs to enjoy and feel pacified with.
All right, lay it on me.
Okay, so should I say spoiler alert first?
Oh yes, you totally
All
should.
right, if you haven't seen Iron Man 3 at this point, spoiler alert, and it's all your fault. You should have seen the movie.
That's right. You should have.
So, because the movie's still good, very good,
Oh yes.
despite this issue.
Look, the movie is still good. I only had one peeve about it.
And it's that the Mandarin wasn't the Mandarin.
Yes.
And see, I'm okay with this because by the Mandarin not being the Mandarin, it was a great pull the wool over your eyes plot twist. And the other thing I enjoyed about it is just because this guy wasn't the Mandarin doesn't remove the fact that there isn't a Mandarin to work with.
True. True.
And I think that it's fine. In no way, shape, or form did they close the door on that character's existence. They simply pulled the wool over your eyes, and I thought it was a great plot device. Woo over the they're not woo over, but like like mess with the audience. So I really enjoyed it for that, and I think that you still have the opportunity to draw upon that character again, and that character can even make a joke like like no, I'm not a silly actor in robes this time. You know,
Yeah.
I think. I think this movie did the right thing. I think this was supposed to close a Tony Stark trilogy arc, and I think it did that very well.
Hmm.
Now, I can only go on in theory as to how that happened. Like presumably it's because we don't know what Robert Downey Jr.'s future is going to be with these movies.
Yeah.
So if he decides not to come back to the franchise, which I'm pretty sure he's already signed up for at least another flick, but if for some reason he were not to come back to the franchise, then at least you have this nice beginning, middle, and end for Tony.
Yeah.
You know? and
I could see that.
I thought the movie was great, a great Tony story. I think Robert Downey Jr. is just wonderful. I think he really served it up and delivered everything, And and although I never and I didn't, although were things that could be considered lacking, I didn't find myself wanting, you know,
Hmm.
which is really good. Like I mean, of course, I know there are people who left wanting the real Mandarin, but I didn't leave myself wanting like, oh, if only the villain this, oh, if only Pepper that.
Hmm.
No, I felt very fulfilled by this experience. I felt like we had a I felt like we had a I felt like we had a solid cast and a solid story. And there was a couple of weird things that people brought to my attention. Like, I guess the president couldn't use the War Machine armor at all while he was in it, but yet when Savin took control of it, he was able to fly on and off that plane. But I was under the impression that Hydra had hacked the Iron Patriot armor at that point.
Hmm.
So I just assumed that once Rhodey figured out how to get it off the president, because the suit obviously would work for him, Tony allowed for that,
Yep. Yep.
then things would go back to normal. So I guess that's one point I felt not solid about. Um, but overall, I enjoyed it. And hey, here's a tidbit for you. Apparently, the Chinese, who even allowed the film crew to come and shoot scenes by the Great Wall of China, are upset because a lot of the footage that was used and a lot of the national actors who are very popular weren't featured prominently or at all in the film after filming with them.
You know,
I guess
sometimes.
there's going to be a bonus
Yeah.
that developed out of all the scenes that are in high demand, you know? And I was really surprised when I read about it, and, but also kind of interested. But you know what? They invited you into their country. At least this is
Mm.
the impression I got.
Yep.
And offered, their services, whatever, and for you to film. So I figured, I guess, hey, we let you come in here, we let you film stuff, and you didn't feature it prominently, not even in our cut.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting thing. I also, of note, Pacific Rim is coming out. The Japanese trailer is uniquely different, and Guillermo del Toro actually like gives an opening descriptive speech at the beginning of it. About actors that he's used for the movie, his love of Japanese anime, and
Hmm.
that fueled his passion behind directing this movie. I thought that was kind of interesting, and that trailer is kind of cool. And that trailer actually features a couple of prominent Japanese actors in it. So anyhow, I just want to throw my 2 cents out there on that because I thought it was interesting. And I because as someone who is Latino, am constantly looking for good Latino characterization in movies. You know, not just because it should be there, but because I would like to see it there. But when it's meant to be there, that's right. If Tigra, who is a Latina character, shows up in any of the Avengers properties, well, darn it, I want her to be done right, and I want a
Yeah.
Latina playing her. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I extend that to, you know, my feelings on the Chinese and Japanese in this situation. So you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of cool. So good for them. I like inclusion. We should all feel included.
Oh yeah.
We need more superheroes.
Well.
That's my 2 cents. And then for my third cent, it
Oh.
now my third cent is everyone go listen to the Ring is Chosen when you have a chance. We're reviewing comics and we're doing episode stuff, but mostly really good interviews. Every so often, really good interviews.
Yeah. It's rather interesting that after such a long break, that the ring is back.
Well, I mean, I have to give you some of the credit. And I'm
Oh,
serious about
boy.
this. I am serious about this. We were having a conversation, And oh my God, I'm sorry I called you by your real name.
Don't worry about it. I'll edit it out.
Oh, go edit it out. So, oh my, let me tell you.
Oh boy,
That
here we go
better?
again.
Is that better?
It's fine.
It's fine. It's better than the other one, I hope.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I'm talking to my good Ginyu Force loving friend here. He's
Yep.
telling me all about his experience with listening to The Ring Is Chosen, and it definitely got me very reminiscent and thinking about the show. And it's something I've always wanted to revisit. And if any of you have ever listened to Right This Second, that podcast, which unfortunately was shortly lived, a couple episodes there. And there was a series of people doing different podcast or webcast in my local comic shop, and I kind of was involved or not involved because I had other things going on, but I was always interested, and they always seemed to die out for different reasons. And then, but after talking to them, I'm thinking about resurrecting it, resuscitating it. What do I do? Is it just me and a webcam? Do I find another co-host? How do I make it work? And then I came across my good friend, who is now my good friend Chris, at the comic shop because, of course, I discovered that he had another podcast, and I was like, "Hey, you want to get together? Well, he has a gaming podcast, and I was like, "We'll get together. We'll do a comic book podcast, And I have the show, and I want to bring it back. Let's do this." And from there, I talked to others about it. I asked Squire for his input, and and we got the show right back on the road. And well, not on the road so much as in the back room of a comic shop, but you know what I mean.
No, it's very cool. I really like that when you guys find a flaming sack of crap that you are willing to give the appropriate rating for a flaming sack of crap.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And we have them every so often.
Oh, and a spoiler warning. It's something to do with animals. Yeah. No, but really good stuff. Like it's mad cool that the cast is there in some form or another. And it's also interesting to see the direction that you guys have taken in. Because here's the thing, like sometimes you just don't get that point of view because things are so scripted and so meh that it's like, yeah, you got certain shows out there that may or may not be giving the fair representation.
Oh, there's so much stuff not giving fair representation. I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know about how some of you feel, and you may have to edit out what three-letter freaking association I'm bringing up, IGN. I'm so tired of their reviews. I cannot stand it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm so tired and so like I disagree with them on everything, every comic, every episode of How I Met Your Mother. Everything I disagree with them.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes you lose like just a genuine take on it because for whatever reason, uh, they may be just looking for the shock value, or they may be just trying to maintain on whatever it is they're trying to maintain on.
Well, I try to keep an honest opinion. I try to keep an open opinion. You know, and sometimes as you call things, it's different. It's like it's like a coach in any game. You can make your call even though you watched the video 2 days later or whatever. And go, ooh, that was a rough call I made. You can't go back and change it. You can't change history.
Yeah.
So I call them as I see them. One episode I'm giving out fours and fives. Another episode I'm giving out twos and ones.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a zero. I,
Maybe a zero.
I have yet to go to zero. Certainly Crystal and Chris have both gone to zero and sometimes even into flames.
Oh my.
I'm sure Crystal has said this book doesn't even deserve a zero. It deserves for us to get every copy and burn it.
I'd also like to note that yeah, something pissed off uh her enough for she to swear.
Oh yeah, I know. She's so upset that we left that in the episode, and I'm like, I, I'm like, I'm like, the episodes are marked explicit. It's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, if it was my show, I would just put the fart sound effect, but that's just me.
You know, we thought about that, but when we looked at our demographic,
Hold
mostly
that thought.
18 plus, we
All right,
really
hold
just
that.
decided to heck with it. And it's there, especially some of the comics we read, the topics are really over the top. So, in that vein of, you know, we have this 18 plus audience,
Hmm.
Chris is like, no, just mark it explicit. And, you know, I've listened to a lot of other comic book podcasts, and they say whatever they want. So,
Yeah,
you know, I really hope that hasn't affected our listeners so much.
I think it's fine.
But you know, I mean, I think it just keeps it raw and real, and keeps you on
Yeah.
your toes about what you're gonna hear this week.
Like what I found amusing that was the fact that she was so uptight about it.
Well, yeah, you know, you're upset when you sit there. You're like, I just spent 15. That's not true. I just spent $4 on this comic, and it was awful. And how dare you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Well, let me let you in on certain things. I have bared witness to a person who was so pissed off that he literally took the comic and ripped it in half right in front of the store owner's face.
Did I do that with you?
Hmm? No, definitely was not you.
Oh, okay.
This was a shop that I was actually visiting at the time. I was like, well, someone is rather irritated here.
That's funny.
Oh yeah. Oh, it happens. If a book that you have so much interest in rubs you the wrong way to that level, you're gonna flip your. Man, it's been ages since I've used the fart sound effect. Oh, it's gonna feel like old times.
Oh, he flipped this, and
Yeah.
then she was in a bathroom, and then she this mother.
I kind of put it in there for my own amusement,
Oh, I
but
bet.
let the audience think whatever. It doesn't matter.
Holy she put
Yeah.
chicken gravy on it.
Yep. 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 Oh yeah. Oh, okay. This is one thing I did not discuss with Steven because I wasn't even aware of it. Are you a fan of Venture Brothers?
I enjoy Venture Brothers.
Well, their new season is vastly approaching.
I'm very excited about it.
Mm-hmm. It should be pretty interesting on what they actually do with this. Because I think it's been I want to say it's been like 2 years. I think because I
Yeah, I
think
guess it has.
yeah,
It doesn't feel well. I guess it does take 2 years to get a new season out of them sometimes.
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see many things. One, if the fan base is still there,
Oh, the fan base is there. Look,
and
the ratings for the freaking Halloween special or whatever that was were fantastic.
yeah, and two, if the network will be like, okay, guys, you can keep going for this amount of time.
Oh, I think it's always on a season by season basis, and then you just see how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? Since this thing recently started, have you seen the new kind of wackier version of Teen Titans?
Uh, I have seen Teen Titans Go, and I am not on board. I mean, you know what? If it was like a little short thing, not a whole half hour,
Uh huh.
I think I could be better with it. But no, I'm mad at them. I want my Young Justice back, and I
Yeah.
don't want this. This
Yeah.
this is like the worst thing that was Teen Titans, and anyhow, I'm disappointed because it's for me it's lame. You know, there's a couple of cute jokes, but again, cute jokes that could have been handled in cartoons, not this whole half hour. No.
Mhm.
I've seen it. I'm not on board.
I like that the original voice actors are there.
I like that too, but it's not helping the situation. I watched this
No,
Beast
it's not.
Boy Cyborg clone themselves thing the other day, and I was just
Yeah.
not turned on.
Yeah. Yeah. That happened.
That
Yeah.
happened, and it was bad.
Yep.
But speaking of Teen Titans Hero Clicks came out today, and oh my god, they are gorgeous.
Oh.
They are gorgeous, and the super rares revolve around Superboy Prime and his team of evil titans.
Oh, geez.
And
Superboy Prime.
yep, and there are giant base sets for Teen Titans, the new Teen Titans, the old Teen Titans, the Red Hood and the Outlaws, the Justice League, and those. And then of course there's a giant Trigon, and all of them are ridiculously rare and going for big money on eBay. And Superboy Prime is one of the chase figures. He's going for big money on eBay too. But the figures are just beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, new Supergirl, new Wonder Girl, new Kid Flash, classic Wonder Girl, ultra classic Wonder Girl. Those two. So like classic. So like Donna Troy Wonder Girl, it shows up with a Teen Titans base, and then with the
Mhm.
classic old school Teen Titans base, it's also packaged with the Red Hood and the Outlaws base. In that you get a one version of Starfire, a younger version of Donna Troy Wonder Girl, and Aqualad. And the pieces are just beautiful, and they're on this new thing called Switch Click, so you can remove them from their individual base and swap them right onto the big Super Team base, which has its own sets of tricks. And they look great. And if you like HeroClix, go and get them. And if you want to get into HeroClix, it's a wonderful time because the set is just freaking awesome and filled with Teen Titan goodies and goodness.
That's impressive. It seems like they got a lot of chase characters, and for people who want to make a quick buck, that's sometimes what they do.
I know, go after the chase characters, but the chase figures are awesome. There's so much coolness. I can't stand it.
I mean, like, here's the thing that I always wondered: like, how desperate are the people willing to pay 2 to 3 times what it would normally cost?
The thing is, when you're a collector for yourself, like you really want it because you want that thing sitting on your shelf,
Hmm.
it's probably cheaper for you to get the one cool piece for $85 and not go through all the hassle
Hmm.
and know you have it. Like today, we opened up I don't know how many super boosters. Of all the super boosters we opened, four of them were Trigon, three of them were the Teen Titans base,
Okay.
two of them were the miniature Teen Titans base and miniature Outlaws base, right?
Uh-huh.
And then one more of them was the base for Deathstroke's Titans.
Nice.
So but I'm just saying, so what I've named 9 boosters we went through, super boosters,
Yep.
and of the 9 we went through, 4 were Trigon.
And that's like the super duper one, right?
Yeah, he's super duper. But the ones that are really highly sought after is the Teen Titans base because that features Donna Troy, Wonder Girl, Raven, and Cyborg, and you can
Mm-hmm.
only get them when you find that base.
Mm-hmm.
And that base is like one of the more powerful bases in the set. And then the one that's just ridiculous is the Justice League base, and the Justice League base comes with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
Well, there you go.
And so that one is very much sought after. So my
Yep.
friend who pulled one of the Titans bases, he put it on eBay immediately for $85.
If it sells, there you
Oh,
go.
it's definitely gonna sell. He had bids within the first hour.
Excellent.
So when you
Well, you know what, Cliff? I'm feeling ballsy. Put me down for 3.
it's a fun set.
Because I need to make some profits, dagnabbit.
No, I wish it were always that easy. Although
Uh-huh.
with the super boosters, I mean, it can be. If you pre-ordered your stuff, you could probably make a nice profit on almost any of the super booster stuff. But the ones that are really bringing in big bucks would be the Titans base and the JLA base.
Mm.
The new Teen Titans base. The classic.
I'll have to take a look at like some of the pictures.
Oh, you should. It's just gorgeous, and there's all
Yeah.
sorts of crazy stuff. And now that we know that the super chases are things like Superboy Prime and
Uh,
It's insane.
oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, and
Uh,
and the one that didn't see anywhere. First of all, I never saw Superboy Prime anywhere before today on the internet. But the one I still haven't found any information on the internet is Sun Girl, and one of the guys at the store pulled her.
really?
Yeah, and she's one of Prime's Titans, but she's also one of the Titans from when Deathstroke remade Titans East.
Okay.
So, and of course, she has a weird history of being from the future and whatever the case may be. This character was never fleshed out when before the New 52 happened.
Okay.
But still, I just cool to have them there, and they look cool. And
Yeah.
I'm just so psyched for the set. We had an amazing time opening stuff up, and we're just thrilled. So
No, that must have been a lot of fun.
it was a lot of fun. I hope I have this much fun when I go to see Man of Steel.
Oh boy, I still don't know how to feel about that. I don't know,
I
man.
gotta tell you, I love the music.
Music's fine.
Well,
I'm
no,
just
because I was worried about them changing the music all around, but I'm actually enjoying the music. I don't know if you saw the Soldier of Steel
I just don't
commercial.
want them to mess up
Nobody wants it to mess up. I'm cringing. I'm still cringing.
because that would be bad.
Now I don't know if you saw the Soldier of Steel advertisement that's going to air in theaters.
Um, I'm not sure if I did.
Well, it's for the National Guard and Superman the Man of Steel. And the program is called Soldier of Steel. And it's really great, and it's showing the comparison between the everyday men and women who are part of our or who are part of the reserves, okay, and part of our National Guard, uh, are heroes like Superman. They don that uniform and go into action and do things that others can't. And anyhow, it's just really beautiful, and it's got some great clips from the movie. And there are 5 TV trailers for Man of Steel right now, and they've all got me kind of excited. So I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I'm hoping to God that it's really good.
Yeah.
You know, and
Oh yeah.
I mean at least bare minimum good. Like I can leave the theater and feel like it was still Superman.
I would just be happy if when I go in there and I'm just able to enjoy the ride without having to be like, dag nabbit, this. Oh, and then this. Oh, great. Now I have to bear with it.
I saw Superman Returns 4 times in the movie theater before I finally had to admit to myself that I really just didn't like the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first time I saw it, I wanted to love it so bad that I convinced myself I liked it, but I felt like it needed something. And the
Yeah.
second time, I'm like, okay, I don't know what doesn't feel right, and I really don't like the portrayal of Lois. By the third time I saw it, okay, I'm like, I'm really not digging this. I'm really starting to pull this movie apart. You know,
Yeah.
definitely, I had love goggles on for the first time I watched this, and then the fourth time I saw it in the movie theater, I genuinely was like, why am I watching this a fourth time? I'm I'm sure I don't want to watch this movie again.
All right. I think with that, it is a perfect time to put an end to this extended episode 100. I hope that all you listeners out there enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time. Take care.
Take care. Thank you for having me.